Okie dokie. So what we're going to do now, we've shaped our aluminium and we're happy with it. Fantastic. We're going to drill 2 holes to make the eye of our monster. And I want to show you what I'm actually referring to. So this is an example. It's not a finished example. It's not been curved. It was just a demonstration to show how to use certain machinery. But this is the concept that we're aiming for. We are going to create an aluminium monster by using rivets to create 2 eyes, but the rivets are also going to hold any additional features, such as using this plastic or this polymer to create a funky hairstyle. Or to create a halo, to create, we've had unicorn horns, we've had cat ears, dog ears, etc. It's whatever you fancy, it's entirely up to you. But that's why we're drilling the 2 holes. The 2 holes will form the eyes for the rivets that will hold the plastic piece in place. And if you start thinking, well, I don't want any plastic pieces, well, it'll be great to add one because this is all about skills, guys. We're teaching you skills here, so it'll be really good to use it. You'll also need to use the drill because we're going to drill into the corner to add a keyring later on. But that's what I mean by, or why we are in fact drilling. To drill into the aluminium, I know I've said it a few times before, aluminium is a very shiny material. If you just put a drill bit on to the surface, the drill bit is going to skid right off. So we need to tell the pillar drill where we're actually drilling. So like with a coping saw or any saw, we always create a little notch, don't we? So we tell the blade, that's where I want you to go. We can't create a notch in this, but we're going to create a little indent using a center punch, which is this little doodad here, and a hammer. Using a pen or a pencil, I'm going to mark on my masking tape where I want my holes to go. You want to avoid putting them right along the edge because when you drill a hole, well, you'll see now when we drill it, but when you drill the hole, if it's too close to the edge, although aluminium is a strong material, the thinner it gets, the weaker it gets. So think of like an aluminium can, drinks can. Or think about, I can't think of the word, tinfoil. That's aluminium. I know it's called tinfoil, but it's got tin properties in it. But that would be aluminium. And think about how weak that is just to tear. So if you have your hole too close to the edge, it will just rip as you're using it. But I've marked my 2 eyes. I'm also going to have the hole for my keyring to go in the bottom corner, so I'll do a 3rd one there. The center punch is a little bit like a nail, except it is deliberately kind of blunt at the end. This is not designed to make holes. It's designed to make indents into really dense material, such as aluminium, maybe some timbers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to point the punch end over my X, so X marks the spot right in the middle. I'm going to hold the square end nice and comfortably with my finger and thumb. I'm going to take a hammer, small hammer. I'm holding the hammer at the end of the handle because that's where all the power is. If you hold it by the head of the hammer, you won't get any power, any force. You won't do anything. You want to hold it at the end. And then very carefully, I'm just going to give it a couple taps. I know that sounded really dramatic and really loud, but it is metal, so it's going to sound loud. And I'm going to take it and I'm going to have a little look. And hopefully what we will see, I've just got to raise this so I can see it, is, now I can see it, but you might not be able to see it because of the masking tape. So I'm just going to take my masking tape off. She says. There we go. See that tiny dot? Yeah, you do. You can see that. That is the indent. That's what we want to create with our center punch. So it's not a hole. It does not go all the way through. It doesn't cause any permanent damage. We just want to make that tiny indent there. So I'm going to do the exact same on the other side. So same, say other side, on the other X. So same again. Center punch in the middle, holding the squares. Tap, tap. 2 taps. Obviously, when I say tap, tap, you do need to put a bit of welly in it. If you go, not going to do anything. Hold the hammer so it's roughly like half a pencil width at width above punch. I meant to say punch, I said pouch, sorry. And there you go, that's my second indent. So what I'm going to do now, you guys will want to leave your masking tape on. I'm going to take mine off so you can see exactly what it is that I've created and what I'm doing. However, if you can't see the indent because of the masking tape, you are welcome to take it off. I have just realised I forgot that bottom one there, so I'll do that now. So indent, punch, punch, punch. Perfect. Oh, health and safety with these. You never ever raise a hammer higher than your shoulder. You have no need to. These provide force. They are heavy. They're made out of probably either stainless steel probably. You do not need to hold them or move them higher than your shoulder. If anybody is seen to be holding the hammer or raising it higher than your shoulder, that suggests you're about to do something very, very inappropriate. That's why I said half a pencil width above your work. That's all you need. All the power is here in the head as long as you hold it by the end of the handle. Right, let's go to the pillar drill. Okie dokie, so this is our pillar drill. Now this is a pillar drill on center. You'll mostly have one on west, obviously, that you'll be using. Although it looks different, it is the exact same function. You press the green button to start it, and you press the red button to stop it. So let me just show you what a pillar drill does very quickly. Apologies for my really bad camera angle. I thought I could do this on my own, but maybe not. Hold fire. Awesome, now I've got my amazing camera lady. So the purpose of the pillar drill, we have a drill bit here. These don't look it, but they are incredibly sharp. You never ever hold a drill bit by the cutting edge, which is this round bit here. If you hold it there, you're more likely to cut your fingertips, so you never hold a drill bit there. If you need help moving or taking the drill bit out, please do ask your teacher. When we turn the drill on, which is via a green button, our green button is up here. It doesn't look very green, but I promise you it is. If I turn that on, what's going to happen is the drill bit is going to rotate 360 degrees at a very high velocity. To turn the drill off, I can either press red button on the machine itself, or for this one I've got a button on the floor. This is an emergency stop. What I can do here is use my foot, tap it, and it will cut off the power. Now what that means is if I go to press the green button again, the machine will not turn on. A big red button is an emergency stop. It will cut off all the power to any machine it is connected to. In order to turn the power back on, I need to release the big red button just by pulling it outwards, which you must do with your hand, not your feet. The only thing to bear in mind with these is you don't want to give it too much welly. And what I mean by that is if you proper boot it, you'll snap and break the button. If you snap and break the button, we can no longer use the machine, and we have to put it out of commission, which is just a big hassle. So it is just a gentle tap. It's not much pressure at all. We also have them on the benches themselves. So if you're working at hip height, you can use your knee or your hip again, just to turn them off with a little bit of pressure, and then you must pull them back out in order to turn the machines back on. So this is our pillar drill. We also have safety guards. Your safety guards must be down when you're using the pillar drill. Now I'm leaving the safety guard up so you can see exactly what I'm doing. I'm also wearing safety goggles to make sure that any debris doesn't go into my eyes, and my long hair is in fact tied up. Let me tell you about this little contraption. This is known as a nippy vise. It's a nippy vise because it is a transportable vise and it can hold our work, which makes it easy to use. In the olden days, we used to call that nippy. So I've got a gaping hole in the middle of my nippy vise, and I've got two stocks which I can control via the handle. I'm going to place my aluminium over the giant gaping hole, so that when I drill through the aluminium, I'm drilling into air rather than the nippy vise itself. You can see here, it does happen, and you know, accidents do happen, but you've got to be really, really careful because it will cause damage to the drill bit, and if the drill bit snaps, it will fly off quite quickly. So I've placed my aluminium so that the holes I'm going to drill are over that gaping hole. I'm now going to tighten the nippy vise just by rotating the handle like so. Excellent, now that cannot move. I'm now going to position my aluminium so that it is underneath the drill bit, and without turning the machine on, I'm going to use the handle to slowly bring the drill bit down to make sure that I am in fact going over the hole that I want to drill. That's perfect. When we drill into the aluminium, you are not bringing this down with absolute force. You are going nice and slow in a controlled motion. It's not like drilling into timber where, you know, it feels a little bit like you're cutting through butter sometimes. Aluminium is very dense. If you put too much force, it will just cause the drill bit to snap. So I'm going to demonstrate now how to do that. I'm going to make sure my workspace is clear, which it is. Hair tied up, goggles on, happy with that. Don't need extraction for this. I'm going to press the big green button. Right. I'm going to use my left hand to hold onto the vise just because it makes me feel comfortable. And I'm going to bring the drill bit down so it goes into the aluminium, makes contact, slow pressure downwards. Slow being the key word. Now I know I've gone through because all of a sudden it's really easy to move the handle. I'm very carefully going to bring the handle back up. I'm going to turn the machine off using the red button. Perfect. You do not move the work until the drill bit has stopped moving. Now, if I put my hand behind it, you might be able to see we've got this stuff here. It's debris, it's bits of aluminium. It's called swarf. Now, I told you earlier that you cannot put your fingertips on the side of the drill bit because it can cut your fingertips. Instead, you just very gently pull the swarf away, put it on the floor. We'll sweep it up later, we'll hoover it up later, but do not put your fingertips on the drill bit and then drag down. It's a cutting tool, it will cut you. I've done one, I'm going to do the second one, so I'm going to reposition it. Machine is not on. I'm going to lower the drill bit so I know I'm going in the right position, which I am. I'm going to use my left hand to hold the vise because it makes me feel comfortable. And then I'm going to use my right hand to turn the drill bit on. Perfect. Nice, slow, consistent speed. Here we go. So that time I used the red button on the floor. Even though it was an emergency, I didn't feel comfortable leaning across the machine to turn it off. That's why I used the big red button. I've got one large piece of swarf here. I'm just going to very gently take that, put it on the floor out the way. I've now drilled my 2 holes, so I can take my aluminium out. Remember when we were using the junior hacksaws earlier, we talked about friction. The aluminium might be a bit warm, it won't be boiling hot, so just be careful because it could shock you just to feel a little bit of heat. Excellent, I've got one more to drill. So what I would do here is I'd place my work back over the gaping hole in the middle, clamp my nippy vise, and then drill. I'm not going to demonstrate that because I've already shown you how to drill twice, so you can go off now and give it a go.